LinkedIn conversation ads, most B2B marketers have heard of them, but very few are actually using them well. Today, we're going deep into how they really work with a full walkthrough in a real ad account. And joining me is Joseph Hill, the founder of the B2B marketing agency Revenu. He spent over 100K on LinkedIn conversation ads, and he's giving us full access to one of his accounts. Joseph, thanks for doing this. Are you ready to dive into it?
Yeah, let's do it. So I'll do a bit of an intro of what a convo ad is first. A convo ad is a message that appears inside of your LinkedIn DMs. And so usually what happens is you'll see a message pop up like this, and it'll say sponsors, and then it'll give a subject line. Now, this is one of the adverts we're running at the minute for one of my clients. But yeah, overall, it's just a message, etc. It has some options. You can't interact. You can't click around too much. It's just pre-built answers which have pre-built responses. So usually you have a primary message, a secondary message, and then a tertiary message almost. And there's a ton of different stuff we can go into, but we're going to do a live build of a convo ad to show you a bit more. Let's hop in and actually build a convo ad. So first thing, I'm going to click create campaign group. So you want a separate campaign group for your convo ad. So let's say, for example, we're targeting the US, we'll do demo gen, etc. So we can split it out. Now, if you're doing convo ads, you got to pick an objective. So you can either do lead generation or website conversions usually. I wouldn't use it for anything else because it's such an expensive placement. You want to kind of make sure you're tying it to a conversion action and ask for them to do something. If you're doing it to your website, so the conversion takes place on your website conversions. If you're doing it through a lead gen form on LinkedIn, go for lead gen. So we're going to do lead gen. Now, this is up to the person really if they want to turn on this setting. I wouldn't, because LinkedIn's not the best at optimizing, if I'm completely honest. So I usually leave this off, and then you pick a start date, and then here we go. So now we've got our group. So let's click into that group. Then we're going to go ahead, create a campaign inside the group. Accelerate, don't touch that. That is a way to waste your money. Always go classic. Yeah, and then select your campaign group, make sure it's the one that you care about, press next. And now let's do this on behalf of Fibbler. So we're going to go Fibbler, maybe US at the start actually, and then let's say we're targeting ABM list times job title. So I usually try and just make sure I follow a good naming convention there. So with any reported, super clear. What you're marketing, I'm okay, thanks. I'll do that myself. Dismiss. Okay. Now we need to create an audience. Most important things, obviously, we're making an audience is making sure your company criteria is accurate. So you're only getting companies you care about, and then also only the people at those companies. Let's just pretend that I'm going in here and I'm going to go third party company, and then select a list that you've uploaded. Ideally, just company URLs, because that's the most accurate source to find the company, or list upload company list. Okay. But I'm going to go and just do a industry instead. So I'm going to browse company industries. So I'm going to go attributes, company industry, and I'm just going to say software development because I work predominantly with SaaS. Let's pretend that says company list, and that's all your target accounts. Then we're going to narrow even further, and so we want job titles. Make sure it says and also have any. Don't have or. If you have or, it's going to ruin your audience. It's going to be way too vague. So we're going to go audience attributes, job titles. Let's say we want founders, co-founders, CMOs. So right, grab those. Okay, now we've got 30,000, and then if I was actually using an industry, I'd probably use a size to make sure I'm just targeting startups, and I want companies between this size. Hypothetically, let's pretend this is an amazing audience. Obviously it's not, but anyway. Then I would also add some exclusions, make sure you're getting rid of interns, students, various things like that. Now you want to select your ad format, conversation, simple. Parameters, add those in if you've got any parameters. The best way to do tracking though is not to use this, it's to use account level tracking so there's a setting you can go in, account level tracking parameters, and you just set up a template for everything that goes through LinkedIn outside of your campaign. Placements, You can't do these on anywhere other than LinkedIn, so you don't have to worry about network. Do make sure that you don't have that ticked though. We all know that's stupid to have that ticked. Then budget, whatever we want. Optimization goal, send is okay. Maximum delivery. I'm going to come on to this in the future, but always make sure you're doing manual bidding and make sure you're in the lower end of this range, if not a little bit below it.
We're gonna come back to this obviously, but do you typically, how many of your clients does ever use this when you come in? Is it a lot?
So, I mean, a lot of people have it set to max delivery.
Yeah.
It's not always awful. Like some of my clients, honestly, they'll have it set. Say, for example, it says bid 28 cent or 28 pence or cents or whatever. They set it to like £2. And the reason why is because they are just printing leads from this strategy. So they do not care about the aggression. The problem is if you're not made of money, this can have dramatic increases in how much you're paying LinkedIn for each send. So now we want to build the advert. So let's create a new advert. I'm going to call this demo. I don't know. Let's just say, for example, we're doing a gift card because a lot of people do these combo ads. It's going to be sent on behalf of myself. Now, subject line. I'm going to pop open the Convo ad library because subject lines, you need to make sure they're powerful. A lot of ways people do it is they say, can I buy your lunch? Do you want some free stuff? And it triggers people to open it. The average open rate of a Convo ad can be between 30 to 40%. If you include something clickbaity to get them to open it, you can get an open rate of like 50%, 60%, sometimes 70%. So sometimes it's just playing the maths and being a little bit clickbaity to get an open, which is not the best strategy, but it does work. But if you don't want to do that, there are a variety of different ways to do it. So one is using an incentive, like, can I buy your lunch? Let's talk about B2B marketing. Another would be, most B2B marketing agencies effing suck. We don't. So you're using something a little bit extreme, like a little bit of profanity, something along those lines, just to get their attention. Or you can lead with a problem. But if you don't do one of these things and you're just like, we can help you with this or etc. Like if you're just super boring, you're not going to get your combo ad open. And that's death to the campaign. Actually, let's not do a gift card for you because you've got some good stuff you can say. It effing sucks when you don't get credit for your pipeline. So instead effing, that'll get eyes, and then we're raising a problem to try and get it open. So then you want to assign your lead gen form. So we can select lead form here, and then we want to press next. So now you're going to get a ton of random stuff in here, and all of these are terrible. So just click blank and click next and write your own. So a couple of things you want to be hitting in your message. You want to be hitting a problem, you want to be hitting a solution, and then you want to be trying to drive them to convert. So let's write one for Fibbler. So it'd be like, hey, then you want to make sure you're using their name. So you want to add that in here, hey, first name. So what would we say to somebody? Let's explain more what we're talking about in the headline. So we're talking about not getting credit for pipeline. So, hey Joe, are you running ads on LinkedIn and struggling to get credit for the pipeline you drive in? So was I, that's why I made Fibbler. We've raised the problem and we've talked about the solution. So we want to now drive them into the conversion. Okay, I'll hop on a call, I'll show you how I can prove you've influenced pipeline inside of HubSpot. Now, we've got to add the buttons, okay? So the button will be, yeah, let's do it. At that point, you'll open up the lead gen form. Now you've given two options, right? You've given yes or not interested. Not interested is forced onto the ad by LinkedIn. But now you're 50-50, yes or no. Increase your odds by adding a third option. Add a button, tell me more. And then you want to open the next message. So if they're not ready to convert, you want to allow a second chance, and that's where this comes in. So you'd click into tell me more, edit response. In here, you'd add more information. So let's say more stuff about the problem, more stuff about the solution, ask for a demo again. Same again. Let's chat. Action, open a lead gen form, and then add a button, no thanks. Okay. Then again, you're just opening up another message here. So if you've still, after your second push, not got it, we're going into emergency state of let's make sure we at least get something from this ad. So if you click edit response, here it'll be like, okay, no worries. I don't like booking demos either. If you are struggling to get credit, check out this case study though. It explains how it all works. Then you'd add a button and then you send them to a website, open case study or read case study. So now this is the ad. So it opens up, hey, I'm running ads on LinkedIn and struggling to get credit for pipeline driving. So was I, that's why I made Fibbler. Let's hop on a call. No. Or it opens the lead gen form. More stuff about the problem. Again, push for it. No. Okay. Push them to a case study. There's also other things you can do here so that you could actually not just go for a demo. You could be like, do you want to see how it works? And then you could have here, book a demo, watch a video, read a case study. You could have 3 different buttons, just basically increasing the chance that people aren't going to click not interested. That being said, you do run into paradox of choice. If you offer too many options, people get overwhelmed and they run away. So it's worth testing. A couple of things though, when you've written this advert, what are the biggest blockers to someone booking a call? Number 1, you're going to end up on a 30-minute call with sales and it's going to be a terrifyingly awful experience where they just push, push, push and you don't learn anything meaningful. So let's address that problem. It won't be with sales. It will be with me, the founder. Now, all of a sudden, the biggest objection is now handled. What's the next one? Okay, you're going to be on a call. It's going to take too long. It could be up to 30, 40 minutes and they're just chatting a lot of crap. Okay, let's change that. Let's hop on a quick call. So now you've addressed that. And then just think, I think the best way to do marketing in 2025 is be a pessimist. And I mean that in the sense of think of all the reasons why someone's not going to click your advert. Think of all the reasons why people aren't going to book a demo and then raise a solution to that in your copy and call it out. Because if you don't call it out and call out the elephant in the room, the elephant's still in the room and it's stopping your performance.
I love this. I've dabbled with conversations ads, obviously myself, but not to this level. I mean, my best performing conversation ad is the one where I'm telling people don't click this. So it's also the easy way out, right? So I love that you have problematized it a bit more than that.
Yeah, I think there's multiple ways of doing it. Like we've got inside the Convo ad library, there's a couple of things in here. One thing you could do is do a meeting incentive, so gift cards, etc., various things. Or you can just provide another genuine reason to convert. Now, if you don't have a good reason to convert, easily just get incentives signed off, and it is a reason. But ideally, you're not just giving away free stuff. You're talking about check this platform out for 30 days and you won't pay, and it usually costs this. Or get started for free gift if you sign. We'll promise a result in a number of weeks, a percentage improvement guaranteed. Like you could say, get 50% more credit from your marketing or your money back, or like various things like this. Money back guarantees, dollars off if you sign by this date. I don't often like doing just percentage off because it does discount your brand. So like if you can do some kind of strong, compelling reason, which isn't a gift card and isn't a percentage off your product, that's when you can hit the sweet spot. And that's what Google do. If you spend $500, you get $500 free in ad credits. Everyone's doing it because it prints money and it's a great reason to get people over the line. That might be the one offer that runs for the next 10 years. And you're the one who came up with it. So test, test, test.
It's actually a wrap off inside an ad account for this time. So huge thank you to you, Joseph, for actually breaking down your strategy and kind of looking at your ad account and what has been working and kind of giving me ideas for the next one for me, I think. So if you got value from this, hit the like button so more marketers can find it, and make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next one. See you later.